There are 3 areas you need to focus on when you're building your leadership brand for 2024. You need to look at where you are starting from. You need to look at where you want to go, and you need to look at how to get there. If you're somebody who works hard, who is absorbed by your day-to-day tasks, who gives everything to your job so you can meet the expectations of your boss, then it's very likely you've never ever spent time or energy thinking about your leadership brand, let alone how to craft one. It's possible that this has resulted in you missing promotions, not getting the jobs you're qualified for, and constantly having to prove yourself because nobody knows what you're capable of. All of this can be avoided with a leadership brand or a personal brand for leaders. This is something that will serve you well during your career, and it will work for you while you are completing tasks for your boss. When looking at where you are starting from, what you concretely need to do here is to analyze your current leadership brand. And yes, you have one, whether you know it or not. It could be that you're known as the most reliable and committed employee in the office, the one who's always around to help out with tasks that no one else wants to do. Or it could be that you're known as the quietest person in the team, the one who is great at solo work, but not so great at contributing ideas during meetings. Through your actions or inactions in the office, you've carved out a perception that others have of you. You've developed some type of reputation in the office. If that reputation serves you, then that's great, but more likely than not, it's a reputation that has kept you playing small. If you can relate to this, then the activity I'm going to share with you right now will help you to analyze your current leadership brand so you can create a better one. So for this activity, I want you to choose 1 to 3 coworkers or friends that you trust. Prepare a piece of paper with these questions written on it. How would you describe me? What do I contribute to the team? What is my best asset? Let these people know that you're working on your leadership brand or your personal brand as a leader, and that you'd really appreciate their help with this. Tell them that you value their opinion and ask them to honestly answer these questions. Once you have their answers to these questions, I want you to put your ego aside and read their answers with an open mind and no judgment. Look for things that surprise you, things you expected, similarities between answers, or things that you disagree with, and think about why you disagree with them. This activity will give you an incredible insight into how others perceive you or the public perception others have of you, so you can become familiar with the perceived qualities, values, and contribution at work. Notice I said perceived. This is because the perception others have of you may not be who you really are, and it may not be how you want others to see you. Which leads us to the next step in building a leadership brand, which is deciding where you want to go. And this is where you define your desired leadership brand, because you need a goalpost to work towards. Just like if you're on a fitness regime, you might have the goal of feeling more energetic, of feeling stronger, or of being able to run the next marathon. These goals will give you direction and focus, and they will channel your actions and your behavior towards achieving those goals. It's exactly the same for your leadership brand. How do you want others to perceive you? What value do you want to be known for? What assets do you want to be noticed for? What contribution do you want to make? And when you're thinking about these things, it's really important to intertwine them with the next career move that you want to make. Because when your leadership brand and when your career goals align, that's when magic happens. That's when you get promoted. That's when you get the jobs you want. And that's when people come after you for your expertise. Here's what you need to do. Start by identifying your career goals. What is the promotion you want? What are the projects you want to work on? Who do you want to work with? Look at the leadership brand you currently have from the first activity in this video and ask yourself, is this the leadership brand that's going to help me get to where I want to go? If it is, then fantastic, but it's very likely that there will be some tweaks or some major changes that you need to make. Number 3, how do you want others to perceive you so you can reach your career goals? This is where you get clear on your refined or your new leadership brand, and for this, you can ask yourself the same questions you did with your coworkers in the first activity of this video. How do I want people to describe me? What contributions do I want noticed? What assets do I want to be known for? And write a leadership brand summary of 1 to 3 sentences describing your new and intentional leadership brand. For example, I'm a creative tax accountant who wants to be known for engineering complicated tax structures and who can articulate these structures clearly to our clients. With this one sentence, I've described how I want people to perceive me as a creative tax accountant, what contribution I want noticed, the ability to engineer complicated tax structures, and the assets I want to be known for, the ability to articulate complicated concepts clearly to clients. Let's try another one. I am a high-achieving Python programmer who wants to be known for my speed at completing tasks and the ability to own up to my mistakes. I want people to notice my good professional attitude. With these two sentences, I've described how I want people to perceive me as a high-achieving Python programmer, what contribution I want to be known for, the speed at which I complete tasks, and my ability to own up to my own mistakes, and the assets that I want to be known for, which is my good professional attitude. Once you've identified where you want to go and what you want your new leadership brand to look like, this is where the fun starts. This is where you start to communicate your new leadership brand in the workplace. There are many ways you can go about this, and it really comes down to reaching as many touch points as you can that people are going to come in contact with. This could include your external presence, so your outfit, your body language, and other external cues that people read from to get information about you. For example, if you want people to see you as someone with a good professional attitude, then I recommend you wear outfits that help you fit into your industry, outfits that are considered to be professional in your industry. Also, you can use open body language when you communicate non-verbally to people instead of using closed body language. Another touch point could be your actions or inactions, so your interactions, your conversations, your communication, and your presence. For example, if you want to be known as someone who can articulate complicated ideas clearly, then you'll need to put effort to communicating with structure. You'll need to make sure that you articulate your ideas in your mind first before you start speaking. And you'll need to make sure that you eliminate filler words. For example, if you want to be known as someone who has the ability to admit your own mistakes, then I recommend that you tell your boss when you make a mistake and you bring them a solution as well. Networking is another touch point, which is a great way to meet new people, form new connections, and to start communicating your leadership brand to those people. For example, you could start to put your hand up for stretch projects at work because you want to be known as someone who is a high-achieving Python programmer. Or if you want to be known as someone who can create complicated tax structures, then you could start to network to connect with other tax advisors in other countries to learn about their tax structures and see how you can incorporate that in your own. Social media, particularly LinkedIn, is another touch point that you can use to help promote and communicate your new leadership brand. For example, if you want people to know you're a tax accountant who can engineer complicated tax structures, then you can share some information or pieces of advice on a LinkedIn publicly to let people know that you're knowledgeable about this topic. For a Python programmer, if you want to be known for your speed at completing tasks, then you can film a short video that you share on LinkedIn giving other Python programmers tips on how you complete tasks so efficiently. Are you starting to see the sequence of events here? Are you starting to see by looking at where you are starting from, where you want to go, and how you can get there, how all of this can help you to define and to communicate your new leadership brand? If you want to continue your learning on how to build a personal brand for leaders or how to build your leadership brand, I recommend you watch this video up here. It is an older one from my channel, but the advice is still super helpful and it will definitely help you if you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you did like the advice that I gave you in this video. If you did, please hit the like button below and subscribe to my channel as well. And I will see you next week in another video.